Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of admin training course. In this session, I'm going to show you how to create a roll-up summary field in Salesforce. But before jumping onto the demo part, we will first understand what a roll-up summary field is in Salesforce and in what situations or in what conditions, in what kind of setup we can actually go ahead and create a roll-up summary field. All right, so let's just go ahead and start with the agenda for the session. So we'll first discuss what a roll-up summary field is, then we'll see how to create a roll-up summary field in Salesforce, and then we'll understand that what are the kind of operations a roll-up summary field actually provides. Okay, and then we'll also at the last we'll also see that what are the points of consideration or what are the key points that you need to remember when you're creating a roll-up summary field. All right, and of course I'm going to do all of these by giving you a demo. So I'll be creating a roll-up summary field, and then we are going to go ahead and discuss all these points. All right, so let's just start with understanding what a roll-up summary field is. Okay, so before I actually go into the definition, let me just show you. um, I'm going to explain you so that you don't actually have to read the definition, so you will understand that what I'm trying to say by the roll-up summary field. Okay, so let's say I have two objects, company and employees. Okay, so I will first explain you what is the relationship between these two objects. Okay, so in company object, these are the information that I have. There are different companies that are listed. In employees object, I have the employee records that I have created. Okay, so now the basic criteria for associating these two objects for me is that every employee should be associated with one company. Okay, so basically I should not be able to create an employee record without associating it to a company. Okay, so if you can recall from the previous session, what does it look like? If you cannot create a child record without a parent record, what kind of relationship field you would be creating? You would be creating a master detail, right? Because in lookup it is optional, but in master detail it is mandatory. Okay, and that is why I told you this criteria very specifically, that this is the criteria that I have, that I should not be able to create a child record without a parent record. Okay, so in such cases, whenever you have a master detail relationship association for two objects, in that case you will get an extra data type when you actually go ahead and create a field on the master object. Okay, and what is that extra data type? That extra data type is roll up. Okay, now we have understood that if there are two objects, and if those two objects are in a master detail setup, then on the master side of the object, on the master object, I will get one extra data type called roll up summary. Okay, but the bigger question is that what is the use of this particular data type? Okay, so let's say if I have created a company record, okay, TCS, and on this particular record I want to see that how many employees are working in this company. Okay, so basically let's say if here, let me just add few more records. Okay, 5, then E6, then E7. Okay, and here let me include one more column here. Okay, so here I'm going to include something as salary. Okay, so just put some, I'm just going to put some easy numbers. Okay, 1000, 2000, 3000. Okay, again 1000, and then 2000, and then 3000. Okay, just trying to create some data so that I can explain it in a better way to you. Okay, so this is salary and this would be my company. Okay, and this should actually, all right, and then okay, here let's just say X, Y, Z. Okay, some random numbers. All right, and then here it's okay, I'm just not going to fill the email IDs. But here let's say if Robert works in, let's say, TCS. Okay, and this person works in Infosys, and Angela also works in TCS. Okay, this person works in Deloitte, and this person again he works in TCS. Okay, and this person works in Infosys. Okay, now my requirement is that I want to create a field on the parent object that can actually summarize some kind of information to me from the child object. So by by that what I mean is that, let's say for example, the first example is, let's say if I have created this company record, TCS record. If I actually navigate to TCS record, then on my detail page I want to show a field that will actually show me the count of employees who works in TCS. So if you count here, right, 1 2 3, so there are 3 employees who actually works for TCS. So that particular field that I would be creating on master, that should show me the count, okay, from the child object. Okay, so that, what does it mean? That it is rolling up the values. Okay, so that is what a roll up summary field does. But a roll up summary field is not only limited to counting the child records. Okay, it has few more things that it can do. So let me just go ahead and create a roll up summary field, and then I will show you that what are the different kind of operations that it can do. But now, for now, just keep two things in mind, that a roll up summary field can be created when there is an association between two objects via master detail relationship field. That is point number one. Point number two is that you will always create a roll up summary field on the master object, because the whole fundamental of roll up summary field is do some kind of calculations from the child object and show it on the master object. Okay, now let's just go ahead and create a roll up summary field so that you will understand better that how it is created and how it is actually used in order to read the information on the master object in order to get to know something from the child object. Okay, so here, so as I gave you this example, okay, company and employee. So in this case, company is the master and employee is the detail object. Okay, so I just told you, right, that when you're creating the roll up summary field, you would be creating on the master. Okay, so I will go to the master object and I will create a roll up summary field. Okay, so my master object is company. All right, so I have, okay, I was already on company. So company, and I will go to fields and relationships, new, and here you can see roll up summary. Now there is another point that I want to tell you. Okay, if let's say if there would have been no master detail relationship between company, and if company was not associated with any object with a master detail relationship, then you would have not been seeing this option here. Okay, just because company is master in, because it is associated with employees, and in terms of association, company is the master and employees is the detail object, and that is why you are seeing this option here. Okay, roll up summary field. So if I select this and if I go ahead, so let me just say employee count. Okay, I just want to see the employee count. So next. All right, here. So here you can see four operations that it is showing. Okay, count, sum, minimum, and maximum. So in this particular case, what I want to do, I simply want to count the number of employees that are working for a particular company. Okay, so that is why I am going to choose count here. Okay, so here, no, first we need to select the object. Object is employees and then count. Okay. And when you're actually selecting count, you don't need to select any field to aggregate. And you will understand that reason when we actually discuss about these other three options. So for now, do not worry. The only thing that you have to consider is that if you're choosing count, all you have to do is you have to choose the child object, which is the child object which it has to count. Okay. So count, and all records should be included in the calculation. Next. And then let me make it visible, and it's on the page layout and save. Now if I actually go to company page layout, then I should be able to see this field, and this field should show me the count of employees. Okay, the number of employees that actually work for that company. So let me go ahead and first of all create few employees. Okay, because I don't have data here. So employees, let's say Robert. um, I think it's not mandatory, or is it? I have, okay. Yeah, company is a, because it's a master detail, right? So I need to provide company. So company data also I have not created. So let me just create this. Okay. So let's say TCS. Okay. And save and new, or let me just not do save and new. So I'm creating this employee, Robert. He works in TCS. Okay. And I'm going to save and new. Okay. All right, and then save. Okay, I created one employee and I'm going to create one more. Okay, Mark, and then email, just give anything here. Okay, and then I am going to tag Mark as well into TCS. Okay, so now there are two people who work in TCS. Now let's just create one more. Okay, let's say John. Okay, and then I'm going to tag John also to the same company. I'm not tagging these employees to different companies. You of course, like you will have data where employees are tagged to different companies, but here I'm just tagging these three employees to the same company. Okay, because we want to see the result of roll up summary field. Okay, so now here if you see, I have three employees and all these three employees are actually tagged to TCS. Okay, so here if I don't want to change the view. This is fine. Let's just go to companies and open TCS. Okay. If I open TCS, then in the detail panel here, look at this employee count. How many? Three. Okay. Because I have created three employees and I have tagged all these three employees to TCS. So you are seeing, right, what the roll up summary is doing, because when I created the roll up summary, I have selected count operation. Okay. That I just want to count the number of child records. Okay. So that is what um, roll up summary did for us. Okay. Now let's say if I go back to the table, let's say I want to calculate the sum of all the employees who works in TCS. So for example, TCS, and let's say if I want to create a field here where I want to show the uh, total salary. Okay, uh, total of salary. Total of salary means I want to do a summation of salaries of all the three employees. That means I want the addition of this plus this and plus this. Then what will I do? So I can simply go ahead here and it's a little slow, so have patience. Okay, so total salaries. Okay, this is how I'm gonna type it. All right, next. And what is the object? Child object is employees. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to sum. And what is that field that I want to sum? Salary, right? So first of all, do I have salary? Yes, I do have salary, but I think I have not filled the salary for all these employees. So let's just go ahead because we have not provided any salary. Okay, so let's just go ahead and provide some salary to these three employees. Okay, so for example, John, let's put 1,000. Okay, all right. For Mark, let me just put 2,000. Yeah. And then for Robert, let me put uh 3,000. Okay, and also just to show you, I am just going to create a new view here. Okay, my view, and here I'm going to add salary column so that we can see okay, salary. I'm just including this salary column on the view. Okay, because I don't want to open each and every record every time. Okay, so here I have three employees, and okay, one more thing, let's just also include company. Okay, so company and save. So I have three employees who are tagged to TCS and these are their respective salaries. Now I want to create a field, a roll up summary field on object company, which is a master object, which can actually show me the summation of salaries of all the employees who works in TCS. Okay, so basically I want to do addition of this and this, and how much should it come? 3 plus 2, 5, and then 6, so 6,000. Okay, so first of all, let's just go ahead and so here you have to select sum, and here field to aggregate, the field that you actually want to perform the addition on. Okay, so salary. And here if you, let's say if you want to add any kind of criteria, you can add some criteria. For example, let's say there might be employees who are not active. Okay, let's say if there's an active checkbox, see, let's say if you don't want to um, include those employees who are not active in the summation, then you can basically put that kind of filter criterias here, and you can put like, is active is equals to is equals to true. So basically you only want to include those employee records where active checkbox is true. But I'm not putting any condition here, but I'm just letting you know that if you're doing any kind of operation here, you can still like, put some condition and filter out the records that on which you want to perform this operation. Okay, so for now I just want to perform it on all the records, let it be active, not active, or whatever it is, right? Whoever works for TCS, I want to do a summation of their salary. Not just for TCS, it's just like an example I'm giving, but it will, this roll up summary field is going to work for any company record. Okay, so next, visible, next, and then save. So here, let's just go to company and TCS. Hold on. I did keep it on the layout. Let me see. Here, total salary 6,000, right? That is what we had counted, 6,000. 6,000, okay? So now let's say if there are other two operations that you would have seen, one is min and one is max. So I mean that is to actually identify the minimum value and the maximum value. Okay. So let's say if I want to figure out that who like all the employees that who works in TCS, who has the lowest salary. Okay. So I can do that as well. So I will go ahead and create another roll up summary field. All right. Here, because I want to show minimum salary, or you can just type it something as least salary. Okay, who has the, sorry, lowest salary. Okay, lowest salary, and next, here employees is the child object, and minimum salary. Okay, and like, minimum what, the field is salary. Okay, so minimum salary on the child object employee, that is what I want to figure out. That's what I want to calculate. Okay, so here this next, and save. Again, if you go here, if you go to companies, and I'm not sure if I would have to refresh. Yes, I would have to refresh it again. So here, right, the lowest salary is 1,000. And yes, the lowest salary is 1,000. If you see all the employees that work in TCS, this is 1,000 is the lowest one, right? Because this is greater than 1,000 and this is also greater than 1,000. Okay. And similarly, you can create another roll up summary field to figure out the maximum salary. Okay. I'm not going to create it, but I think it's pretty easy now. So there are four options to perform the, like, using which you can calculate the count, you can calculate the sum, you can calculate the minimum value, and you can also calculate the maximum value. Okay, so that is how a roll up summary field works. So there are 3 points to keep in mind. Okay, roll up summary field does these four operations. Okay, count, sum, minimum, and maximum. That is point number one. Point number two is that you can only create a roll up summary field when two objects are associated via master detail relationship field. Okay, the third point is that you will be creating a roll up summary field on the master object. Okay, because master object is the one which is on the one side where you want to calculate any number of, like, maybe sum, count, values, minimum, maximum, anything from the child, right, from the many side of the relationship. Okay, so these are the few points. Let's just go ahead and see what I had listed. So this was just the definition, and um, these are the four operations: count, sum, maximum, and minimum. And then points to remember. Okay, so it can only be created for master detail relationship on the master side. Okay, so if there are two objects which are associated with the lookup relationship, even if you go to the parent object, you will not see that roll up summary field option. Okay, so you will not be able to created, okay, when the two objects are associated with a lookup relationship, but not a master detail relationship. You will always find a roll-up summary field option if the two objects are associated with a master detail relationship, okay. It cannot be created when objects are associated via lookup relationship. That is what we just discussed, okay. Master detail relationship cannot be converted to a lookup relationship if a roll-up summary field exists. So this one, if I explain you this, okay. So let's say you have a requirement wherein your client comes and they say that let me go to the structure, okay. uh, we have to go to the employees, okay. Employees. Okay, I will explain from here, okay. So let's say here, now let's say your client comes and they say that, you know what, remove the mandatory check from the company field on the employee object. So they are saying that even if the company is blank, it should be okay, because they are saying that, you know, whenever they are entering the employee data into the system, they might actually not know that which company they are going to be tagged with. Okay, so initially they wanted this field to be mandatory. They wanted the parent association to be mandatory while creating the child, but now they are saying no, remove this mandatory check. But just imagine that you have done a lot of work, right? Because you have actually created a master detail relationship. Now what will you do? There are two things, right? Either you can create another lookup relationship field, okay, but what is the better way to do it? The better way is that you already have this master detail relationship on your employees object. So you would think, okay, you know what, I will go to the employee object and I will convert the data type of the company field from master detail to lookup. So let me just show you quickly, okay? So let's say if I go here and this is my company master detail field that I have created. Now the client is saying no, they don't want the company to be mandatory. So that means you cannot keep it as master detail, because master detail, in case of master detail, whenever you are creating a child, you have to fill the parent reference, right? But they are saying no, they don't want this required check now. Okay. So here, now you will think that, okay, this is master detail. Now let me convert the data type from master detail to lookup so that this mandatory check will be removed from here, okay. And here, in order to do that, if you click on actually edit, not from here, hold on. So company, you need to click here, okay. And okay, all right, that option is not coming up. Field level security, no, it's not going to come in field level security. I think it does not actually gets displayed, okay. So mm, all right. Okay, I am going to actually remove all the roll-up summary fields that we have created. So this point basically says that until and unless you have roll-up summary fields on the master, you will not be able to convert a master detail relationship field to a lookup relationship field. Because just imagine about the existing data. Okay, just imagine about these existing data, that this is my existing data. I will go to an employee object. Okay, I will go to an employee. No, let me just go to company. Okay. This is my existing data. Okay. And I have three roll-up summary fields here, right? And how was it possible for me to create these three roll-up summary fields? It was possible only because company was in a master detail relationship with employees, right? Now, if I am changing that relationship itself into a lookup, then how is it possible? Because lookup will not provide you the option of the roll up summary fields. Now the problem is that when you will actually go ahead and try to convert that master detail relationship field to a lookup field, you will not be able to do so. Because what will happen to these kind of existing data? You still have data here, right? I mean, if you're working in a project, let's say, like, you know, you have created 100, 500 or 1000 company records where you have these roll up summary fields. So basically, the Salesforce system will try to tell you that, you know what, you cannot actually convert a master detail relationship to a lookup relationship until and unless you have roll up summary fields. Because these roll up summary fields are holding some data, okay, and Salesforce is trying to notify you that, you know what, you are going to lose your data if you convert your master detail to a lookup relationship field. So they are making sure that, you know what, you by yourself go ahead and delete these roll up summary fields and then convert the master detail to a lookup relationship. Okay, so let me go ahead and delete these three roll up summary field, okay, and then from the company, and then we'll see if we are able to convert it or not. Okay, so I'll go to the company object, and then I'll be deleting all the three roll up summary fields. Okay, so this was a roll up summary field, delete, and this was a roll up summary field. I'm gonna delete this one as well, and then which else? This one. I will delete this one as well. Okay. Now this object doesn't have, the master object doesn't have any kind of roll up summary field. Okay, so now if I go to the child object and the master detail relationship that I've created on the child object, if I try to convert that to a lookup, then I should be able to do so. Okay, so let's just go ahead and check. So employee, okay, and company. So this is weird because I should be getting extra button for changing the data type. So let's just, so I have deleted that roll up summary fields, right? So let's just also erase that completely from the org. So that was on the parent object. Okay, so the parent object is company. I will go to company, and then if you see, I have already deleted those three roll up summary fields that I had created. Okay, but let's just go to deleted fields and erase this. Okay, erase, yes, permanently delete. Then this one, so you can see this, these are the kind of option, like, problems that you might just be like, sitting and wondering that you have everything right, there are no roll up summary fields, but you're still not seeing that button to, like, basically convert from master detail to lookup. So this I just searched, and this is one thing that I was supposed to do. Okay, because sometimes it does consider the fields that you have deleted but still there in the system. Okay, so now I will go to employee object. Okay, employee object. All right, employee object, and then here this is my company field for master detail. All right, let me just refresh this. Edit. Here it is. See, this option I was not seeing earlier. Okay, now change field type. Now this is already a master detail. Okay, if I click on change field type, I would be able to select lookup relationship next and then save it. Okay. So when did this option started coming from me? When I deleted the roll up summary fields. Okay. So this is what it is saying. This point. This point is saying that until and unless you have roll up summary fields on the master object, you will not be able to convert the master detail relationship field that you have created on the child object to a lookup relationship field. Because the moment you are converting your master detail relationship field to a lookup field, you are losing your chance of creating a roll up summary field. Okay, because roll up summary field option only comes when you have the master detail relationship. Okay, so that is one thing to be considered. And there were a few other points. Let me just, all right, let me just see if I have covered everything here. Okay, there are few exceptions. Okay, so the few exceptions are, let me show you something very interesting. So if I go to, okay, so if I, so you guys already would be knowing that how account and contacts are associated. So account is nothing but like a parent object, and contact is a child object, right? Because one account can have multiple contacts. Okay, but just think that how, and both are standard objects, right? Account and context both are standard objects. So you already know that account is the parent and contact is the child. But have you ever thought that what kind of relationship they have between them? Is it a lookup or is it a master detail? Okay. So let's just go ahead and find it out. So I'm going on the contact object. This is, guys, this is another interview question, okay? Because I myself have asked this question to a lot of people, and people blindly say that it is a master detail relationship, okay? But look at here. Look at this. So the relationship between account and contact is actually a lookup and it's not a master detail. So what does it tell you? It tells you that on account object, you cannot create a roll-up summary field which will actually give you the count of contacts. Correct? Because the first rule of creating a roll-up summary field is that your two objects should be associated via master detail relationship field. Okay. So if I go on account object, okay, account object, and let me try to create a roll-up summary field. Okay. And let's see if I am getting the contact option. Okay. So contacts count next and here. So look at here. Where is the contact? It's not coming, right? And why it's not coming? Because it is associated with the lookup relationship field. Okay. But if you observe, I am getting these two other options. Okay. Let's just take one into account. Associated locations is coming because account is associated with this particular standard object with the master detail. That is why it is coming. But what about opportunities? Let me go to opportunities and see how opportunities and account are associated. Okay. So opportunities. But it is also a lookup, right? If account and opportunities are also associated with the lookup relationship field, then how come when I am trying to create a roll-up summary field on account to calculate opportunities, then how am I able to do so? How am I able to create a roll-up summary field on account for opportunities? So this case is an exception. All right, so you have to remember this. And when you actually remember the relationship between account and opportunities, because you might get confused because account and contacts are also associated with lookup, but there you are not able to see the roll up summary field option, wherein where and in this case when account and opportunities are also associated via lookup relationship field, but you are seeing a roll up summary field option. Okay, so this is an exception. And the same case goes with campaign and campaign members. Okay, so campaign and campaign members, both of these objects are associated with a lookup relationship field. So if you actually go to campaign member object, you will see a lookup relationship field created for campaign. But if you go to campaign object and if you try to create a roll up summary field for campaign members, you will be able to do so. Okay, so these 2 points are exception, that you can create a roll up summary field on account for opportunities even though account and opportunities are associated via lookup relationship field. And then you can create a roll up summary field on campaign for campaign members even though campaign and campaign members are associated with each other via lookup relationship field. But then the third example, the third, like, a very good example that we have of account and contact, where account and contact are also associated via lookup relationship field. But in that case, we are not able to create our roll-up summary field on account for contacts. Okay. So these 3 points you have to keep in mind. So basically, why we are discussing all of these things? We are discussing all of these things because the one and the first and foremost fundamental of creating a roll-up summary field is that two objects have to be associated via master detail relationship field. Okay, so that when you actually go on the master object and when you try to create a roll-up summary field, you will be able to do so. All right. So I think these are the only points that you have to keep in mind when you are trying to create a roll-up summary field. And then again, another point. Let's say I just said, right, that in case of account and contact, there is you cannot create a roll-up summary field on account for contacts. Okay. So if you are getting that question, but what if we need it? Then you can write your own logic and, like, basically you can create a field on account and write some logic to like calculate, like do any kind of operation that you want to do. If you want to count all the contacts or do a summation of any field of from the contact, or if you want to find any minimum or maximum value, you can either write those kind of logic in your trigger, okay, apex trigger, or you can also write those kind of logic in your flow, okay. So, but in a standard way, these are the points that is possible that we just discussed. Okay. So if you still have any questions on the roll up summary field, feel free to drop your comments on the comment section, and I'll try to respond to your questions. All right. So that's it for now. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next session.